Hello and welcome to Hans Wargaming. In this video we're going to be making a modular river. Unless you're sculpting the river into the map itself, there are a few design challenges to consider. The riverbed needs to appear like it's at a lower elevation than the surrounding map. To do that, you have to create the illusion of depth. This can be achieved by using a color gradient. We'll get to that later on. It's also important that the base layer be as thin as possible to help sell the illusion. Originally, I was going to use 1/16 inch plastic card sheets for this, but I could not find them anywhere locally, and I checked a lot of places. So I opted to use 1/8 inch hardboard panels instead. I buy this stuff in 4 foot by 8 foot sheets at Lowe's. I usually have them cut these into 2 foot strips. If you do this, the 4th strip is going to be slightly shorter, just due to the thickness of the saw. I made my river sections 5 inches wide with 1 inch banks on either side. I made sure to mark off the ends so they would line up with each other. Since I already had 2 foot wide hardboard strips, I started by making some basic 2 foot straight pieces. I cut 3 of these out, and in hindsight, I wouldn't suggest doing this. I think a 1 foot piece is long enough. Rivers tend to have a lot of curves, so the fewer long straight runs, the better. But it is nice to have the option to make a straight river if you need one. I used a fresh razor blade to cut these out, just to show that it can be done. Yes, I cut out all 19 pieces like this, and it was not easy. It's very tedious. If you have a jigsaw or a bandsaw, feel free to use either of those for this. For the 90-degree pieces, I used a square piece of wood. With a 12-inch ruler, I traced a 12-inch line from one board edge to the other. I drew these lines pretty loosely to simulate the look of a river. Again, with a razor blade, I beveled and cleaned up the riverbank edges. If you're using hardboard panels like this, you might get some tear out on the bottom side. You can glue these pieces back together pretty easily with some wood glue. Once I had a 90-degree piece cut out, I could use that as a template for the other pieces. To make some 45-degree sections, I just cut that in half, marking off the center point between each corner and using a square to draw a 45-degree line. I made one Y split section. To make that, I started by tracing a 90-degree piece, then marked the center line, similar to the one I drew for the 45-degree pieces. I used that line to perfectly center a third river channel. This way each side branches off 45 degrees in opposite directions. I also made some shorter 6-inch bridge sections. These are going to have some raised flat sections on each bank, which will be perfect for setting a bridge on. Once I felt like I had enough pieces cut out, I did some testing to get an idea of how many of each piece I felt like I needed. In total, I ended up with 4 12-inch sections, 6 45-degree sections, 1 Y, 2 6-inch bridge pieces, 1 8-inch section, 4 90-degree corner pieces, and 3 2-footers. I eventually gave up on the 2-foot sections and only made 1, so 19 pieces in total. Now to build up those banks, I used acrylic latex for half of these and construction adhesive for the other half. Either one works. The acrylic latex puts off a lot more fumes though. You're probably not going to want to have these sitting around in your house. You can mix this stuff with paint. I chose not to go that route, but maybe in the future I'll try it out. Just wanted to mention that because I know someone's going to say it in the comments. I built my banks up about 1/4 of an inch high. I spread the adhesive out with nitrile gloves and covered it with various scraps, rocks, and sand. On some sections, I scattered a few rocks in the center of the river as well. This doesn't need to be done in one layer. You can build it up over 2 to 3 layers if you want, or you can do it in one layer. I tried a few different methods for building up the banks, and in the end, just using pea gravel and sand over the adhesive ended up being my go-to. For the bridge sections, I used some corkboard for one and styrofoam for the other. I think they both worked pretty well. They provide a nice flat top with textured sides. To seal and base coat all of this, I mixed some wood glue and paint together into a semi-transparent coffee-colored slop, and I just coated everything with that. Then I gave each piece a dry brushing using a creamy off-white. Now to block in that illusionary riverbed gradient. I used my airbrush for this. You could probably use rattle cans for this, but you'd be more limited with what colors you're using. I think you could also just stipple this on with a regular brush too. I mixed some turquoise and sepia together to get a bluish green. I blended that into the banks. It's okay if some of it gets onto the rocks here. Then I added some black to that to create the illusion of deeper water. I tried to keep that darker section centralized, especially on the edges of each piece, so the sections would always line up. You can already really see that illusion of depth here. I also blended the edges in with some transparent burnt sienna, where the water meets the banks, and that gives the banks a nice muddy look. Next I did some sanding on the undersides and the edges to make sure all the sections were sitting flat and lining up properly. And then it was finally time for some water effects. My plan was to build up a few layers of glossy Mod Podge. This stuff also puts off a lot of fumes, so again, make sure you have good ventilation, and wear a respirator for this. My plan was to stipple the Mod Podge on, then blow it with my lens cleaner to get a sporadic flowing water pattern. That did work, but I gotta say if I did this again, I would just mask off the banks with some tape and use my airbrush instead, because my hand was getting pretty tired towards the end of this part. I probably squeezed that lens cleaner about 1,000 times. I did do a test piece, which turned out great, but when I did the rest, I ended up with a lot of bubbles. I don't know what I did differently. I did know this was a possibility, and honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. If anything, it actually helps to sell the effect. Alright, so I didn't quite have time to finish this project before filming the last game. I think they looked pretty good on camera. Looking at them in person, I think the water effects could probably be a little thicker. Yeah, there's also a few spots where I think these are pieces of paper from the Mod Podge bottle. From around the rim that got mixed in with the Mod Podge. I think that's what these are. You can also see the line that I drew here to divide this piece in half somehow bled through. I'm pretty sure I painted over that, but it bled through, I guess. So I'm gonna have to try and hide that too. Either that or just not use this piece. With my original test piece, I didn't really get a lot of bubbles in the Mod Podge when I applied that. So I really didn't think that the bubbles would be this bad, but they are this bad on a lot of the pieces. My plan is to just roll with it. It does kind of look like a whitewater effect. I'm just going to try and blend them in with some white paint and see how that turns out. But yeah, first I'm going to hit these with some glossy varnish. The gloss varnish really seems to dull down that bubbly effect in the Mod Podge, and it just makes the water look a lot more glossy, which is good. It also adds a little bit of thickness to the water, which kind of helps to sell the effect. I don't know how well that comes across on camera, but in person I could say it definitely helps. So yeah, I was actually pretty happy with how the water looked at this point. This is with 2 coats of Mod Podge and 1 coat of glossy varnish. Even those bits of paper looked better with the varnish. After I sprayed that varnish, they looked a lot more like intentional rocks that I had placed in the water. If you want a modular river for a desert board, you could stop right here. But I'm making this river for forest boards, so I had to add some greenery. I mixed up a greenish slurry of wood glue, paint, sawdust, and flock, and stippled that onto the banks. Then I spritzed that with water and sponged sections of it off. I sprinkled more flock on top of that and ended up with something that looked like this. At this point I thought there just wasn't enough contrast. The banks were looking pretty bland, so I went in with some jungle green, desert yellow, and mummy robes. Using the desert yellow to break up the green sections and add some slight color variety, the jungle green to highlight the flock, and the mummy robes to highlight the stones. Here's a before and after. It was a huge improvement, but now the banks were looking a little too bright. So I went in with the dark brown wash. I mostly targeted the rocky areas with that. And again, I used water and a paper towel as a sponge to kind of blend this in. Here's another before and after. Depending on the look you're going for, the brighter version may be preferred, but personally I like the side with the wash better. So this is what this river looks like on a desert map. I think with the right terrain this could work. Here's how the bridge sections look. You can always just lay a bridge over the banks too, but it's nice to have those raised sections. They just make it look a little bit more intentional. And here's how it looks on a forest map. Look at that lovely blue sky effect on the surface of the water. Huh. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my patrons for the support. If you found this to be useful and want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a Patreon member. That's it for now. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you later.